everyone, my name is Maxine. Welcome back to my yoga YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you enjoy, and if so, could you please like, subscribe and even share my videos, just so that we can share the magic of yoga to more people and let them reap the great benefits also. So thank you again for joining me. So I do like to start on foot, nice and tall. So that in itself is the first great benefit, because yoga teaches us how to just have a nice posture, which gives us more confidence, and it just makes us feel better in ourselves when we have a nice posture. So standing either with the feet together or hip width apart, slightly turned in over, pelvis tucked under and shoulders softly roll back and down, and just notice the difference already, how you feel. And then let's take a nice deep breath in, reaching up to the sky, filling up the lungs, feeling the rib cage expand, palms together, and exhale into prayer in front of the heart center. Just taking a moment to arrive in the body, in the here and now. And it's what you could do at any time, any place, anywhere, just to help to become present and find some peace and calm just by simply arriving in the moment. Tuning into the breath, maybe a sigh out if you need to release any stress and tension you might be holding on to. But then just in and out through the nose, either closing the eyes or taking the gaze, what they call the drishti, off the tip of the nose, or just softening the gaze towards the ground. And if you'd like to take a moment to set an intention, whatever that may be, you would like to get out of the class, or some goal or achievement that you'd like to set for the future, just take a moment to do so. But as I always say, the most important thing is just to follow the breath throughout. Use the breath to connect the mind with the body and our inner being of peace and calm in the here and now, in the present moment. Forgetting about the past, not thinking about the past or having worries and cares about the future. Just going within and just tuning into that inner essence that resides within us always, of peace and calm and love and joy. So standing nice and tall. Let's begin taking the hands onto the shoulders. So we're standing up to begin with, and then we'll gradually work our way onto the ground. So just beginning to warm up the shoulders as we lift the elbows forward, up, back, and as we open the heart, inhale, and as we roll down, exhale. So just deepening the breath, again closing the eyes and taking the gaze off the tip of the nose, and then when you are ready, in the opposite direction. And then roll the head forward, arms down by our sides. And let's take an inhale as we bring the head to one ear and to the back. Exhale as we bring the head, the opposite ear to the opposite shoulder and back to the front. And again in the same direction. Inhale as we roll to the right and back. And exhale around to the front. Inhale the opposite way to the ear, back. Exhale ear to shoulder and back to the front, and again last time. And exhale around to the front, and then let's raise our arms and the head as we inhale up to the sky, and let's sit down into chair. To begin with, tucking the pelvis under, lowering it down a little further maybe on an exhale, just to whatever degree suits you. And maybe you could come onto the balls of your feet if you wanted to, Hold it here for several breaths. Focus on that spot, deepening the breath, and then bringing it down onto our hunkers. Several breaths here. And then let's lower the heels as we raise the hips and bring it down into a ragdoll. Bent knees, just let the head and the head relax, relaxing letting go of any stress and tension in the head, neck and shoulders, and maybe grabbing onto the elbows, which helps pull a little bit more weight deeper down, and stretching gently the backs of the legs. Just letting go, nice nourishing breath. I find this is a lovely way to start, just to let all that fresh oxygen rush to the head. Nice and relaxed, and gently warming up the hips and the backs of the legs before we take it down onto the ground. And then let's plant the palms, fingers always spread wide, stepping it back into our first downward facing dog. So we've already begun to stretch the backs of the legs out. So again, help and stretch down the backs of the hamstrings with the downward facing dog. So we want to align the arms with the back, hips to the sky, heels towards the ground. Don't worry if your heels aren't at the ground yet. It's just depending on your practice, how often, the length of time. It's taken me a long time before my heels reach the ground, so you may find if you take a pedal and lift one heel up at a time and take the other down, you may get the heel down a little closer when you take it alternatively. Nice deep breath. If down dog's not comfortable for you at this point, you could bring it down into a tabletop, or even just take it down into a child pose of your choice before we begin. And remember, just relax the head. You can bend the knees to push the hips up to the sky. Let's just sink in the heart down, but don't sink too far. We want to activate pushing the ground away through the palms. Feeling the palms planted with the fingers spread wide. Feeling the feet on the ground. Just connecting with the breath, with the body in the present moment. And then taking the gaze forward, bringing it down into tabletop if you haven't already. And then let's take some cat-cows here. Inhale, chin up, tailbone up. We're finding the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Exhale, arch, and let's rock back towards the heels just to gently warm up the knees if they're a little tight, and then back up and inhale into cow, and exhale, arch and back down to the heels, bringing it back up. So maybe it's gently, a little bit by little if you've got tight knees, and exhale as we bring it down. Last time, pushing the ground away. Inhale up and exhale, sit it down. A little gentle rock to lubricate the knees, just warming up the joints, getting that synovial fluid moving around. And then out to one side, hips and shoulder out, over the wrists and forward and out to the other side and down, back to the heels and around again. Don't worry if your bum's not going right down to the heels. You may want to put a cushion or something between your bum and the heels if they're a little tight. And then in the opposite direction, so however many times you go one way, do the same in the opposite direction. You can close your eyes and feeling your way into the body with the breath. And then stretching out the arms in front. Active arms, pressing the fingers of the palms into the ground with straight arms. Passive arms, relaxing the forearms onto the ground. A prayer behind the head, whatever your preference is. And anytime you need to take a break during the practice, feel free to come down into a child pose of your choice and modify the poses in any which way suit you. If I don't offer you an alternative, it's your practice, so whatever feels good for you. Most importantly, wherever you are, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, just to follow the breath. And then taking the gaze forward, planting the palms, let's inhale up over the wrists, the shoulders. Check the elbows are rotated. We don't want the elbows bending out over. That would be fine for thread the needle. Most of the time we want the insides of the elbows rotated forward, as then we take the weight forward first. Exhale as we lower down, so the elbows are tucked into the ribs, and then push up gently into a cobra, maybe the very low baby cobra to begin with, and then exhale it back. Inhale forward, so just taking several rounds in your own time. Exhale it down, inhale maybe up a little higher in the cobra, and exhale it back. Checking the elbows are rotated, so you'll feel the elbows at the sides of the ribs, and then inhale, and this time cobra a little higher to whatever degree suits you, and elbows are always bent in cobra, and then lower it down into sphinx. It's going to slide back a little bit so you're comfortably on the mat, and sphinx, elbows are directly underneath the shoulders at right angles, forearms parallel, fingers planted, palms planted, fingers spread wide. And at this point we just could take a little sway from side to side, so maybe just bringing one shoulder into the centre and looking over, and to the other side. So just focusing on the breath, however you want to do it. Maybe you want to take a nice inhale as you move, or stay still, sway from side to side. Inhale one way, maybe exhale the other way. Just do whatever feels right for you. And back to centre, and if it's comfortable for your spine at this point, you may push up into sail. And again, let's just check out the elbow situation here. If you notice, you can rotate the elbows. Rotate the backs of the elbows, they're going to bend that way, which is fine for thread the needle, but most of the time we would like to keep our elbows tucked into our sides, so therefore the insides of the elbows rotate forward, so when we bend them, they'll come back down. But at the moment, just hold it for several breaths, and again, maybe you could take a little sway from side to side, bringing the shoulder in, looking over as you follow the breath. Just whatever feels good for you. You may want to stay static, you may want to bring it down back into the sphinx and try the same thing as before. Just feel that stretch up the side, down the sides. And let's just lift our thighs off the ground here. And the arms, stretch it out as high as you can, lifting the thighs if you can, squeezing the bum cheeks, maybe little pulses with the thighs together. And let's sweep the arms down by our sides, resting the forehead, a little wiggle of the hips, jiggle of the shoulders, just allowing the body to be completely relaxed like jelly. And then let's lift up, interlock the fingers behind the back, lift up, and the legs at the same time. Bend the feet towards the hands and grab for the feet. If you are struggling to reach that, take one arm down, maybe forearm on an angle, and just reach for the foot one at a time. Try lifting up the thigh off the ground. If possible, don't worry if you can't. Several breaths. And exchange, several breaths, or maybe if you get one at a time and then reach for the other one after. Push up a little higher. Nice deep breath. And release. Lie down, resting the head on the backs of the hands. Nice deep relaxing breath. Wiggle the hips, jiggle the shoulders. Just to allow the body to be completely relaxed. And let's bring the hands down on either side of the chest. Inhale up into Cobra, maybe up dog. Hands are directly underneath the shoulders with up dog. Arms are straight. And legs are straight, just letting the hips sink. But sometimes I see people do this. If you can, push the ground away and pull the shoulders back and down away from your ears and lengthen through the neck. Several nice deep breaths. You could have a little sway. You could look over one shoulder and behind, one side, and then the other. Rest, always think about resting in a child pose at any point. And let's also now bring ourselves gently and slowly stretching out the spine. Bump the heels, knees together, resting the forehead. Active or passive arms are prayer. Lovely. And then let's sit up. I'm just going to come forward so I'm not right out of the camera view here. So inhale up to the sky. Arms together and then reach down one side and bend in the elbow. Reach over as far as you can. Looking to make sure the arms not falling forward. We want to be in alignment with the body. Several breaths. Lovely stretch down the side. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, reach down. Bend in the elbow, reaching lower and as far as you can. And over the top. The other arm. Several nice deep conscious breaths. Feeling that lovely stretch. And then back up. Pull the shoulders back, chest through, interlock the fingers behind the back. Straighten the arms if you can, but don't worry if you can't. Then we'll just try lifting the arms. Feel the tension in the tricep. Open the heart as we take a nice deep inhale. And then exhale as we fold it down. But if you feel you're going to topple, release the hands and then reconnect them when you are down. Resting the head, the forehead. Maybe have a little gentle sway from side to side. Nice little forehead massage. So lift the arms up and beyond as far as we can. And then let's bring it up. Just give the wrists a little massage. Bend them in one direction then the other. Shoulder roll. And then the other way. Maybe the hair, just roll it around. Yeah. The other side. And then back again. Maybe breathe halfway in and as before, exhale to the front. And then lift it up here, back into tabletop. Again, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, palms planted, always with the fingers spread wide, just to give you much more strength and stability and balance. Inhale, chin up, tailbone up, and hit the toes, and exhale into down dog. And once again, push the ground away through the palms, really activating the shoulders, hips towards the sky, bend the knees to help the hips up further, just to sink the heart down, but not letting it collapse. You want to really activate the shoulders by pushing the ground away through the palms. Several nice deep breaths. You may want to pedal, sway, or stay static and still, just whatever feels good for you. And then here you could bunny hop to the front of the mat, or just take little steps, bringing it forward and fold. Bent knees, chest towards the thighs, let the head relax down towards the shins. Grab onto wherever you feel comfortable with. Maybe get hold of the big toes, in which case the elbows do come out to the sides. Pull down, or the ankles, or hug the calves in. Relax the head, or maybe you like to place the palms underneath your soles. And then release when you're ready, and inhale up to the sky. Nice deep inhale. Slight back bend. Prayer, and exhale to the heart. So just noticing how you feel from when you began. The breath's going a little faster and deeper, or the heartbeat you might feel going a little quicker. Any sensations in the body, just take a moment to witness. Maybe you can notice the subtle energy body beginning to flow more freely already. Always checking out the posture and just tuning into the breath, closing the eyes or taking the gaze off the tip of the nose. Stop and have a little drink of water in between whenever you need to. Always good to keep hydrated. And then when we are ready, arms down by the sides. Inhale up to the sky, palms together, slight back bend. Prayer. Soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway flat back, hands on the ground or the shins or the thighs, bending the knees, hands down. Step one foot back, right foot say first of all, followed by the left into plank. Now you may bring the knees down here, check the elbows are rotated, weight forward as we exhale down. Inhale, take it from plank, exhale forward, down, halfway through and up, or all of the way to the ground, shoulders back, elbows tucked in. Inhale, Cobra, or up dog, or even Sphinx. Back to down dog. And as we'll be stepping through, we don't want too great a distance between the hands and the feet. We want to keep the hips as high as possible. A nice high hip triangle. Right leg straight up in line with the body. Activate the leg. Point the foot. Tension right through bum cheek thigh. Calf. Point the foot. Flex the foot. Point the foot. Bend the knee. Look underneath the armpit and push the ground away. Circle the foot behind. You can feel that deepening of the stretch and the pull back of the hip when you push the ground away. Circle the foot one way. Nice deep breath. Circle the other way. Back again. Well done. Point the foot, straighten the leg. Lift it high. Square the hips to the ground. Ball of the left foot, right knee through to nose, hips high, weight forward, step the foot through. Grab the ankle if you need to help it through. Turn the back foot flat, 45 degrees. Right knee above the right ankle, arms down by the sides as we come up. Interlock the fingers behind the back. chest through, shoulders back, and lift the heart. Inhale, tense the arms as we lift. Exhale, lower the chest on the inside of the thigh. A little further down and a little further over with the arms. Again, nice deep breath. And then let's bring it up. Inhale to warrior one. And exhale, transfer to warrior three. I know I'm out of the picture here, but you can see where we need to be. Stretching out through the fingertips, activate the arms and the leg, tensing right through to the bum, cheek, calf, thigh, calf, point the foot. And then let's lift it up. Bring in your knee into the chest. Several breaths, focus on a spot. And then here we're going to take the right hand, or whatever arm you are on, reaching over to the opposite leg. And kind of pull here as we turn the torso to that side. Sweeping the top hand back to south. 6 o'clock. Focus on the spot. Maybe you can look at the back hand or to the side. Release. We're going to step back into warrior two. So lowering the leg, stepping it back to warrior two. Warrior two, we want feet on the same track, heel to heel or heel to arch. Knee directly above the ankle. I don't want the knee falling in or out. Strong arms, back foot parallel with the back of the mat. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse, reaching down that back leg. Nice deep breath, a little further down on the exhale. And again, so we're bent into the front knee, remember. And then back up to centre, straighten both legs. Look at the front fingertips. I'm going to take a nice inhale. Exhale, reach forward. Keep the hips stacked, so as far as you can go. You'll notice you can't reach any further, then tip it down. Don't collapse the hips. We don't want to go like that. We want to keep them stacked on top. Several breaths here. And then back up to centre. Flip the palm. Inhale, reverse. Reaching down. Feel that as we stretch down the front top side. A little further on each exhale. A little further. And back to centre. Inhale, exhale, bend into the front knee and into the thigh. So either aligning the arm with the body here, or you may want to take the hand towards the ground, or possibly a half bind. And then a full bind, you would need to lower down the shoulder, below the knee, arm through, flip the forearm up behind. If you can grab the fingertips, then pull the shoulder back, aligning the body with the leg. Several breaths, so you could try each option. And then let's release the hands, taking them both down to the ground. Flip onto the ball of the back foot and reposition that foot wherever it is you need to find a nice lizard. You may drop the knee if that's a little uncomfortable for you, but we want that foot in alignment with the hip. So look back to the foot, check it's in alignment with your hip, and then from here reach into the sky, and then let us drop the knee now. Take that hand on the inside of the thigh above the knee and push that leg out. with nice deep breaths. So we're opening up the hip there. And then let's reach back up to the sky. Bend the knee and grab for the foot. If you have the foot, you can pull it into the bum cheek. If not, just take the hand behind the back, reaching for the opposite thigh. Wherever you are, we're aiming to open the heart. If you want to take it the next step, you can come down onto the forearm or just stay on the hand. Either way, just relax and breathe and just enjoy that moment of stillness with the breath. And then let's sit it back, straighten out the front leg. If that leg's gone out a little, bring it back in and realign it with your knee and your hip. And square hips, lengthen through the spine, flex the foot, you can soften the knee if need be. Inhale, exhale, fold it down. A little closer. And a little closer. Gaze forward. Weight down, frame the front foot, come onto the ball of the back foot, lift it up and rock it up, taking that back foot flat, 45 degrees, the pyramid, lengthen through the spine and bring it down. Maybe grab onto the back of the leg to bring it in a little closer, or just hands to the ground, or blocks. Always remember you can use blocks at any point if you're not quite reaching where you want to be. And then gaze forward, lift it up about halfway, and then turn the fingertips pointing back over. So it depends on your flexibility here. Aiming eventually to be about a foot behind, about 30 centimeters behind the heel. And then lifting up onto the ball of the back foot. So we're taking the weight onto that front foot. Also push up and round the shoulders. Using the fingertips to just support the weight. So we want to take most of the weight onto the front foot. And then bend the back knee. Don't worry, this is quite an advanced pose. And then when you're ready, take it down. And let's bring it up. Nice deep inhale, exhale, strap it together. Well done. So once again, just taking a moment. You've worked really hard, so after that exertion, just take a moment to appreciate that lift and the exhilaration, the flow of energy, checking out the posture, and just tuning into the breath, slowing it down. You can close the eyes or taking the gaze off the tip of the nose, feeling the feet planted, the palms pressed together. Just being fully present. In the here and now. Well done. So just composing ourselves, maybe if you want to have a drink or just stay standing tall. And then let's begin on the other side. So don't forget, check the posture, tuning into the breath, arms down by the sides, inhale up to the sky, palms together, slight back bend, press, soften the knees, hinge and fold. Inhale halfway flat back, remember shins or thighs or the ground, bend the knees, hands down, step the left foot followed by the right foot unless you want to try jumping back into chaturanga. So you would have the elbows already bent, lift up the hips and come down into a half plank. Either way, steps and stages, or jump back into half plank, up dog, and then back to down dog. Finding a nice strong triangle. Deep breath in and out. Left leg straight up in line with the body, activated, lifting that leg as high as you can, tensing right through. Bum, cheek, thigh, calf, tips of the toes, point the foot, flex the foot, point the foot, bend the knee, push the ground away, pull that hip back, circle the foot, focusing on the breath all the time, circle in the opposite direction, back again, point, straighten, square the hips, come onto the ball of the right foot, left knee through to nose, hips high, weight forward. I'll come onto the fingers to allow more room. Take the ankle if need be, left knee above the left ankle, back foot 45 degrees, arms down by the sides, interlock, behind the back, hips are square to the front, and then if you can, straighten the arms and don't worry if you can't. Lifting the arms, open the heart, inhale, exhale, fold right down on the inside of that thigh, lifting the arms over and beyond. Nice deep conscious breath. And then let's bring it up when you're ready. Inhale up to the sky. And then forward into, I'm going to come back. Forward into warrior one. You could keep your toe close to the ground if you're struggling with your balance. You may want to take your hands to the ground for support. Stretching out. Focus on that spot. Nice and active. Engaging the core. And then bring it up. Knee into the chest. So just taking your time. Then the opposite hand across on the outside of the knee. And pulling the torso to the side. Opposite hand to the south. Well done. Ooh. And then release hand, move the arm forward and step back to warrior two. Well done. So finding a nice strong warrior two. Again, heel to heel or heel to arch. Back foot parallel with the back of the mat, and make sure this knee doesn't fall in or out directly above the ankle. If you look down, you can see the toes picking out, and then you know it's in the right place. Flip the front palm. Inhale, reverse down the back leg. A little further. A little further. Fraction further if possible. And then back to centre. Straighten both legs. Strong arms, pelvis tucked under. Look at the front fingertips. Inhale, exhale, reach it forward. As far as you can go, then you know it's time to tip down. Keep the hips stacked. You can reach a little fraction lower, but don't collapse. Just keep the hips on top of each other. And then let's bring it up. This time, taking a nice deep inhale. Exhale, bending into the front knee, resting on the thigh, aligning the arm with the body. And reaching to the ground or towards the ground. Again, aligning the arm with the body. Maybe looking at the fingertips. And then possibly maybe a half bind. You can try each one. Hand behind the back, reaching for the opposite thigh, shoulder back. Or full bind. Taking the shoulder down, arm through, flipping the forearm up behind, and grabbing for the fingertips if you have them. Pull the torso in alignment with the leg. Top shoulder back. Nice deep breath. And then let's release hands to the ground. Flip onto the ball of the back foot, positioning it in alignment with the hip. Nice deep lizard. Reaching to the sky. Lower the knee if you need to. We're going down that way anyway. Stretching out through the fingertips. And then lower. And let us reach back for the foot and pull it in towards the bum cheek. Actually, I don't know if I've done that the wrong way round. Is it that? This first. Oh, no, I think it was pushing the knee out first. Yeah, push the knee out first. And just nicely open up the hip. Following the breath. And then reach back up and grab for the foot. Pulling it into the bum cheek. As close to as you can, or if you're not reaching the hand behind the back, again to the opposite, towards the opposite thigh. If you have the foot, maybe come down onto the forearm, but you need to be aware that we're opening the heart here, so if you're reaching down here and you ended up like that, it's best that you would just be on the hand. And then let's relax, sit it back, straighten the leg, flex the foot. If it's gone out a little, bring it back in alignment with your knee and your hip. And fine if the knee's a little bent, soft, inhale. Exhale, fold and lower it down. Nicely deepening the stretch down the back of the leg. And then let's take the weight forward, frame the foot, lift it up, rock it up into pyramid. And feet on separate tracks, back foot 45 degrees, hips are square, lengthen, inhale, exhale, fold, and again, find where you need to be soft. And let's bring it up about halfway, turning the fingertips, pointing back over, as far behind the front foot as you can, ideally eventually about 30 centimetres of the foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot, taking the weight onto the front foot as much as possible. Push through the fingertips, rounding the shoulders and bend the knee, lifting the foot. Several breaths. And then back down. Lifting it up, inhale and exhale, step it together and pray. Well done. So just once again, just taking that moment of stillness, just appreciating and noticing and feeling that exhilaration, the energy flowing more freely. Making sure the posture's strong, being fully present. And then let's step it out here into a star. So stretch it up with a nice deep inhale. And prayers for exhale down into a squat. Now you may want to gently ease your way into it by rocking onto the balls of the feet from side to side, or you may feel you want to lift it up and down. If it is awkward for you to sit down, you can use a block to sit on at whatever level you are, or maybe the small stool, and then gradually decrease the decrease the height, and until you are lower down as far as is comfortable for you. Just finding a straight spine and holding it here for several breaths. Once again, another moment of stillness with the breath in the present moment. And just relax. And then let's lower down. You could maybe go straight onto your bum if you like me. You need a little hand behind. You don't plonk down and stretching the legs out in front. Let's just give them a little wiggle. Leaning forward, rocking the bum cheeks out of the way. And softening the knees. We want to aim for the chest to the thighs, so the knees can be as bent as here. Or if you are super flexible, you could have the legs completely straight. So taking a nice deep inhale, exhale, lengthen and fold, grabbing onto wherever you can get hold of, just pulling the chest to the thighs. If your chest is touching the thighs, you may slide the feet forward or walk the bum cheeks, rock the bum cheeks back, grab onto calves, feet, ankles, reach beyond the feet, or a strap is great to help pull you down. Strap belt or a towel. Just fold it in. Nice deep breath, deep stretch. And then when you are ready, let's just sit up and roll it down. One vertebra at a time. So lying down. Lift up the chest, tuck the shoulder blades flat, bend the knees, feet in, about hip width apart. And let's just begin to let the knees fall over to one side. And then the other side. You can hold it here for several breaths. And then the other side. Just whenever you're ready, hold it for as long as you feel you want to on one side. And then the opposite. Maybe turn the head the opposite way to the knees as we do so. And then over again. Maybe you want to just move it quicker, like a windscreen wiper from side to side. Or hold, so whatever feels good for you. Nice deep conscious breath. And then just let the legs go straight and the feet flop out. Maybe it's about the width of the mat apart. Arms down by the sides. Palms facing up over. Again, lift up the shoulders. The chest, to tuck the shoulder blades flat. Just lie in with the eyes closed. Relaxing the body with a nice deep inhale. Filling up the lungs. Hold. And big sigh out. Release, relax, surrender. Just let go. Let the weight of the physical body melt into the earth below. And each exhale, letting go of anything that doesn't serve us, any worries, any cares. Let that be absorbed by Mother Earth and taken care of. And with the lightness of the breath, feeling the subtle bent energy body, feeling lighter, look into the emptiness, into the centre of the forehead, and just enter and immerse yourself into that freedom, that nothingness, that empty space. Any stuck or blocked energy you may have had before, it's being released during your practice. Just see if you can notice it flowing freely and lightly. Just look into that emptiness in the centre of your forehead. If any thoughts come into your mind, just catch them before they turn into a story. Just acknowledge them, be the witness, observe, and just let them go. With each exhale, just let everything go. And then obviously if you want to stay in Shavasana for at least 5-10 minutes, half an hour, or for however long it is, the most important part of the practice, you are welcome to stay there as long as you like. Otherwise, if you want to prepare to wake up the physical body, find yourself in a cross-legged seated position, and maybe just take some little circles here. In one direction, then the other. And then maybe a little head roll. One way, then the other. And a deep breath in, up to the sky. And exhale into prayer in front of the heart center. Just taking a moment. With the eyes closed and some nice deep last conscious breaths. Always remembering that our breath is there, always accessible to us. To bring us into the present moment, tune us into our natural state of being, of peace and calm and love and joy. At any time we want to reconnect with that. It's a perfect time to take a little meditation also. After a nice yoga practice, releasing all of that energy, feeling the lightness of the subtle energy body, it really prepares us for a lovely meditation. The energy is clear, it's calmed down our minds, so it's a perfect time to sit and take a, just a gentle, quiet, extra time for yourself. Just observing the breath, observing the thoughts that will pop into your mind. Just catch them and let them go as we exhale. But if you want to, end the practice as always with a moment of gratitude, giving yourself a little thank you for the time that you've taken for yourself in your practice, for your body, for what it's achieved. And remembering also that being in a state of gratitude leaves us with a sense of well-being. There's no room for negativity when we are grateful. So just take a moment always, if you are ever feeling a little low or down, just to count your blessings, and it really does help lift our spirits and raise our vibration. And thank you so very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed. Namaste. Well done.